Anglers wondering what type of hook they should be using for the type of fishing that they are doing have come to the right place. Many anglers are sick and tired of missing a lot of fish and attempting to dislodge hooks from deeply hooked fish. What many anglers don't know is that they can fix a lot by changing one little thing in their fishing setup. The hook used can be the difference between hooking the fish that bite and missing them, releasing them safely, or deeply wounding them. Meet every angler's friend, the circle hook. Using circle hooks is a great way to reduce the chance of gut or throat hooking fish and increase the number of hooked and landed fish. When fishing with natural baits, circle hooks are the go-to option for the sake of the fisher person and the fish. Almost all anglers have fished with J-hooks along the way or are using them now. J-hooks are exactly what they sound like, a hook that looks like the letter J. On the lower side, they have a sharp point followed by a barb. On the top, there is an eye which is used to tie a line or leader to the hook. They have a tendency to snag anything and everything if the angler is actively moving the hook. If the angler is not moving the hook or holding the rod, then the bait can be taken easily without the fish getting hooked. If the fish does get hooked, it is likely to attempt to eat and swallow the bait, resulting in a deep or gut hook. If the angler is actively moving the hook or holding the rod, waiting for a strike, then the hook is likely to snag the fish not just in the mouth, but also the eyes, body, and gills. If the fish has already set itself on the hook, then an additional set from the angler is likely to result in tearing of flesh around the hook. Most people fish with J-hooks because they are normally the cheapest option. Other people use them because they are extremely effective when fishing for fish that bite extremely hard and fast. They are effective because of their snagging capabilities. They are also easy to sharpen with a file. Because of the attributes of the J-hook, it is not suitable for catch and release fishing. A circle hook is any hook in which the point returns to a 90-degree angle inwards to the shank of the hook. This characteristic results in a bend in the hook that indeed resembles a circle. When a fish grabs onto a baited circle hook, it has a tendency to hook the fish right in the corner of the mouth. This happens because the hook does not set immediately, allowing it to slide to the corner of the mouth before setting. Only slight pressure on the line is needed to hook the fish. This means that if the angler is not watching the pole, the fish is still very likely to set the hook itself. People started using circle hooks to fish for large billfish, such as sailfish and marlin, because there is a great desire to release these fish. They are extremely amazing fighters, but have extreme levels of mercury, making them dangerous to eat, but great for the sport fishing industry. Using circle hooks has proven in studies to mouth hook up to 100% of marlin and 98% of sailfish. This allows for an easy release so that the fish can be caught again by another lucky angler. Not only are circle hooks effective for giant fish, they are also effective with virtually any fish of any size. They have proven to mouth hook up to 96% of redfish and are extremely likely to mouth hook almost any fish. Another benefit of circle hooks is that they hold bait on very well when compared to J-hooks. The main disadvantage with circle hooks is that if the angler attempts to vigorously set the hook, it is likely to just get pulled out of the fish's mouth. Because of all the helpful characteristics of the circle hook, it is very suitable for catch and release fishing. Even if an angler is fishing with circle hooks, there are still likely to be some deep hooking incidents. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission and the Department of Industry of New South Wales both recommend cutting the line as close to the hook as possible when a fish is gut hooked. Studies have shown that attempting to remove the hook from a gut hooked fish normally does more harm than good and results in the fish being out of the water for longer. All of these stress factors decrease the chance of survival for the fish. Many other injuries can occur to fish other than gut hooking, including gill hooking. Although J-hooks are the primary culprit of gill hooking, circle hooks can occasionally gill hook fish as well if the angler is using aggressive hook setting practices. The gills are extremely important to the fish because they use them to breathe. If the gills are damaged, they are likely to bleed a lot because, just like lungs, blood constantly travels to them to pick up fresh oxygen. Gill-hooked fish have a decreased chance of survival. Fish can also be what is called foul-hooked. This means that they have been hooked somewhere outside of the mouth, such as the tail, body, or eyes. Foul hooking is almost always caused by J-hooks and triple hook lures or rigs. Fish hooked in the eye will have eye damage, which will also decrease the chance of survival. It can be intimidating to select a hook. There are so many shapes, sizes, and packages that it can just be overwhelming. The best thing for an angler to do is to know what they are looking for before they start looking for it. They should know what they are fishing for, what bait they will be using, and what size fish they are targeting. This will help reduce bycatch fish. Fishing hooks are sized from 32, which is the smallest, to size 19/0, which is the largest size. The size of the hook decreases as the numbers go up from size 1 to size 32. The next size up from size 1 is size 1/0. The size increases as the numbers go up from size 1/0 to size 19/0. As an example, from smallest to largest, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1/0, 2/0, 3/0, etc. A size 14 to 8 is good for freshwater trout. A size 1 or 1/0 is good for small to medium small inshore species such as small or slot-sized red drum. A size 3/0, 4/0, 5/0, or 6/0 is good for large 40-inch plus drum. A size 7/0 to 9/0 is good for medium-sized sharks like large blacktips. A size 14/0 to 19/0 is good for large sharks and giant groupers. An angler should consider the thickness of the hook. Thin hooks are great for fish with thin and delicate mouth tissue like sea trout. Medium thin hooks are good for many inshore uses, but big fish are likely to straighten them out. Medium thick hooks are useful for many things because they don't straighten out as often. Thick hooks are useful for many reef species and big fish. Hook shape is important as well. I try to avoid triple hooks and other hooks that are likely to harm fish. This includes octopus, wide gap, and multi-barbed bait hooks. Offset hooks are used to keep live bait on better, but will undo some of the helpful effects of inline circle hooks. The shifted lower shank and hook do not allow the hook to slide to the corner of the mouth as easily and are more likely to hook at first contact. That being said, offset circle hooks are still better than J-hooks for catch and release fishing. Barbless hooks are awesome but extremely hard to find in the right size and shape. Barbless hooks increase the hookup ratio but do not keep the fish or bait on quite as well as barbed hooks. They make unhooking super easy. To make a barbed hook barbless, simply crush the barb with a pair of pliers. For any saltwater anglers that do not know what they are fishing for or how big it will be, I recommend size 1 or size 1/0 inline circle hooks. Super strong or light hooks will not be necessary. Hooks labeled 2 times strong will work well. Size 1/0, 2 times strong inline circle hooks are totally capable of catching small snapper, keeper red drum, and 40-inch black drum. One thing can change an angler's fishing experience drastically. Every angler should work hard to be an ethical angler, protect the waters, and still be able to enjoy them at the same time. Using barbless inline circle hooks whenever possible is a great way to start protecting tomorrow's waters. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you found this useful.